Professor Garlic, a moment of your time?
The plants are resting, so now's as good a time as any.
I was wondering, what made you want to teach herbology?
How lovely of you to ask. I've always had an affinity for greenery, so this situation is a bit of a dream come true. After graduation, I was thrilled to be asked to step in for my old herbology professor. He'd had a slight accident, you see.
Oh dear.
Quite young.
Shame for him, but it worked out well for you.
Well, he never cared, really cared for the plants, and they could sense it. Oh, you'd be surprised how perceptive a plant can be. At any rate, the trouble began one day when he cut into a wigan tree. Unfortunately for him, its leaves were hiding a bowtruckle. You may recall the marvelous creatures that resemble a twig. The little beast gouged the professor's eyes quite fiercely, but terrifying, I'd imagine. Likely for the professor, too.
And that's when you took over as the herbology professor?
Well, not quite. After 3 weeks at St. Mungo's, my predecessor regained a tiny bit of his eyesight. He insisted on returning to the greenhouse. Within a week, he claims by accident, kicked a Chinese chomping cabbage, so it was back to St. Mungo's for him.
What a string of bad luck.
Well, I felt awful for him, but I dare say I felt a bit more sympathy for the cabbage. Upon his discharge from the hospital, his indifference to plants had turned to utter disdain. He lost what little patience he had left with a particularly temperamental venomous tentacula, and, well, his resulting leave of absence continues to this day.
He was eaten.
I'm glad everything worked out as it did and that you're the herbology professor now.
Very kind of you to say. I do love these gardens and helping my students grow. Lovely speaking with you. Have a wonderful day. Oh, and remember, be kind to your wigan trees.
That's right. Be kind to everything.
Wingardium Leviosa.
I'm gonna come over here and grab some of these planty wanties. Not in this one. Here we go. Your tool wheel slot is full? You can only have so many? Really? Alright, time to go to potions class.
I should like to retire.
It's a relief to finally have an answer for why
Have a plant.
it was empty.
Oh, hey.
Have you finished your assignments?
I finished the tasks, Professor.
Well, well. I trust you are meticulous in your efforts. After all, shortcuts only ever lead to shortcomings.
Yes, sir, of course.
Good. Ordinarily, I'd say it's not my concern either way, but you... I want to make sure you're well prepared. Talent and resolve are a potent combination. It would be a shame to let that go to waste.
Thank you, Professor.
Don't let it go to your head. Now, let's see how you fare with Diffindo. Wand at the ready. Focus. Diffindo can be dangerous if you're not paying attention. good. It seems you have a grasp on Diffindo. I would encourage you once again to practice here in the classroom, for your sake and that of everyone else.
Okay, Defendo. Slashes objects and enemies that enemies from afar, dealing considerable damage. Okay. We need to do that there.
Repairer. Defender.
It's a pleasure to have a student who actually heeds instruction.
Wow.
Professor Sharp, do you have a moment?
Depends on how you intend to use it.
I saw an aura badge on your desk and was wondering if you could tell me more about your time as an aura.
Observant. I suppose I could indulge you for a moment. Spent years tracking down reprobates who dealt in artifacts of dark magic origin.
That seems a bit more dangerous than teaching potions.
Often, yes. Though I've seen some remarkably creative concoctions brewed in my class. I enjoyed a great deal of success as an aura. However, success can make one complacent if one's confidence is not tempered by humility. One overstep in battle changed everything.
May I ask what happened?
Yes, well, I suppose it's a matter of record. My partner and I had tracked a suspect to a harbor in Scarborough, trying to smuggle shrunken heads of all things. I had deduced that he was working alone.
Weird.
I was mistaken, and they knew we were coming. From the moment we stepped onto the ship, well, I barely escaped with my life. My partner wasn't so lucky.
I suppose being an aura is dreadfully dangerous. I'm sorry.
It is at that. But survival is not guaranteed for any of us. Pay attention. And not just within my class. This is what I must impress upon you all. A potion and a poison may be a mere breath apart, until you consume the wrong one.
Well said, Professor.
Ain't wrong.
As I mentioned earlier, Diffindo can be versatile but dangerous. Good to see you continuing to practice.
Wait, hold on. When do I get the lock spell? Oh, there it is. Oh, it's Incendio. Nintendo. Eventually. Ah! Okay. What is all in my quest line now? Well. Nut cabbage. Alright, let's go to the chamber.
Revelio.
Why people fuss so much about the forest?
Revelio.
Bravo, Gryffindor. Willing to risk your life at a moment's notice.
Well, I don't think it's a problem at all.
Let's see. Do do do. Do 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 do.
Revelio. Defender. Confringo. Revelio.
Here's something. Oh, wait. No. It's like it's an informational thing. There it is. Portrait of Sir Cadogan. Sir Cadogan was allegedly friends with Merlin himself, and as such became a sworn knight of the Round Table. Although he is only really known to the wizarding world, he is famous for his defeat of the Wyvern of Wye, and now spends his days challenging students to duels.
Revelio.
Stand back, you knave. Know you not who I am?
Armor is getting into it again. All right, let's see.
Lumos.
Green room with portraits. There it is. That was easier than I suspected. Get in there.
How would you like to learn the knockback jigs flipendo? Once you've completed the necessary tasks, come and find me in the greenhouse.
Alrighty.
Revelio.
Not there. I think this is towards Ravenclaw. What are the tasks? Teach. Grow and harvest fluxweed. Acquire all 3 combat plants and use them simultaneously. Okay. One-eyed witch. All right. Let's go talk to Professor Fig. Let's go talk to Fig. Oh,
Revelio.
hello. Someone's getting into a fight.
I was hoping to see you.
You're back.
Finally. Minister Spavin talks more than he listens. Ranted on and on about rogue dragons. Wouldn't listen to a word about goblins. Speaking of which...
Listen, Professor. So much happened while you were away. I received a flurry of messages from Professor Black's house elf, Scrope.
Scrope sent you messages?
Yes, I thought it was odd too. He asked me to meet him and then told me to take the toast.
Why would you want to take toast?
To a cave under the lake. That's where I found Richard Jackdaw's ghost.
Who on earth is Richard Jackdaw?
He was a student here long ago. Anyway, he told me about a secret cavern. I went there, and right next to Jackdaw's skeleton, I found the missing pages.
You found the pages?
I did. And because Jackdaw had followed the map they contained, when I found the pages, I found the location on the map. Believe it or not, it's a room below Hogwarts.
Why am I not surprised? Shall we?
I was hoping you'd say that. Oh, and we'll need to bring the book.
Yes, bring the book.
The room is called the Map Chamber, by the way. And a portrait of Percival Rackham awaits us there.
Professor Rackham. I look forward to meeting him. How did this Jackdaw get the pages from the book?
Evidently, Peeves stole them, and Jackdaw stole them from him.
Oh, Peeves.
Stupid ghost.
Travel is always much more enjoyable with a friend.
To think it was beneath us all this time.
You never would have found it without somebody who can see it.
This looks promising.
Whoa.
A map. There's Hogsmeade. And over here, the Forbidden Forest. And, of course, Hogwarts. It's magnificent.
Uh-oh.
If only you were here to see this.
He's talking about his wife.
Hello, Professor Rackham. We've placed the book on the pedestal as you asked. And this is my mentor, Professor Fig.
How do you do, Professor Fig? And you, my young friend, see now why you needed to return with the book?
I do. I also see why you refer to this room as the Map Chamber.
That you have come this far tells me that you possess extraordinary magical ability, the potential and power of which will unlock should you prove yourself worthy. The location of each of 4 trials will, in time, appear on the map. Trials that will test you and give you access to invaluable knowledge. Trials that you must complete on your own. Do you recall the pensive memory you viewed in my vault in Gringotts?
You
Yeah.
and your friend Charles spoke of the port key and of trials you'd created for one who could see traces of ancient magic.
Precisely. Charles is another of the Keepers, a designation we gave ourselves centuries ago, in light of the knowledge that we have been bound to keep hidden. Until perhaps now.
So, the passage from your ruins to Gringotts, everything in the vault, the restricted section, finding this room, none of these was a trial.
They were an important part of the journey, but they were not trials themselves. The fact that you have come this far, however, bodes well. The trials were designed to ensure that the power and knowledge we have kept secret for so long does not fall into the wrong hands. They will test your abilities, both innate and learned. But of equal importance, everything you witness as you complete the trials will inform what you choose to do with all that we share. You will need patience. The trials have much to teach you. It will take time.
I'm afraid we don't have the luxury of time.
We have waited this long, Professor Fig. Surely a few more.
Respectfully, sir, while I do not know the secret you keep, I do know that our young friend here has seen traces of a powerful dark magic being wielded by goblin kind. And we encountered an uncommonly powerful goblin wielding such magic as we prepared to leave your vault at Gringotts. We may already be too late.
This is grave news indeed. Young friend, do you trust Professor Fig?
I do.
Then, in the light of your considerable skill and all you have already accomplished, we shall begin. You will find the location of the first trial marked on the map below you. Whilst Professor Fig may assist you in locating the trials, they may be completed only by one with our ability.
Shall we have a look? I know that tower. It's not far. You may have seen it yourself.
It looks familiar. Perhaps your young friend is more well-traveled than you might think.
As your mentor, the least I can do is go ahead to make sure it is safe. Join me as soon as you can.
You said that you know that tower. What can you tell me about it?
Not much, I'm afraid. I've passed it dozens of times. It's north of Hogsmeade. My recollection is that it seems abandoned. Clearly, however, the tower conceals more than meets the eye.
I'll find you at the tower as soon as I can.
Until then, be careful, and do not tell anyone where you're going.
That's the point, Professor. Pretty. Looks like that's another trial. And yeah.
It's time you learned, Glacius, the freezing spell. It is an efficient way to cool down a heated situation. But first, I will need you to complete a few tasks. Once you've done that, come and see me.
Yes, ma'am. Alright, so we got the freezing spell, we got Professor Fig. Grow and harvest. Oh, I need to go to my to my room.
I'd like to ask you about changing the room's ambience.
Of course.
Actually, perhaps another time.
I was gonna have more than that to say.
Dick thinks you should be proud of all the potions you brewed.
This will be more useful when I have something to identify.
That's how you make potions on max. I don't have anything as far as potions going. Collect and collect. Okay. So we have the flaxseed. Pop balloons overhead. Hogsmeade. Oh, this is mine. Okay, yep. Alright, cabbages.